state, and nation, and enjoy the freedoms and privileges in which we do. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
There you hear, he's on County Board of Commissioners now session.
Thank you, Sheriff. Welcome, everybody. Glad to see everybody at the meeting today. Hopefully it'll be constructive for everyone. Gentlemen, have you had a chance to look at the minutes?
I have, and make a motion that we accept the minutes as written.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
While we're doing that, I would entertain a motion to approve the account payable claims and the payroll claims.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Sheriff, what we got today?
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Morning.
Last week, we had a booth at the 4-H fair, interacted with a lot of people and several children. Gave out a bunch of safety information. Just made a bunch of new friends out there. Really a nice fair week. Enjoyed being there. The Indiana Sheriff's Summer Conference is next week. I put in 7 Orange County officers for awards, and all 7 are going to receive them. So,
Fantastic.
for different events. 4 of them are for, or 5 of them are for when their actions when our deputy got shot, and 2 more guys for heroic events. So that's a great thing. The toilets, we've got 5 new toilets that are going to be shipped this week to go back into jail, and continuing to improve the infrastructure there. Population today is 64 at the jail. I'd also like, we were looking at the contract for new hires to have those, the dollar numbers raised up to $2,000. So it should be 8, 6, and 4.
What was that again?
On the contracts.
Orange County training training reimbursement agreement.
Okay.
He's saying
All
with
right.
less than 1 year of service, it's currently $6,000. He's requesting that be increased to $8,000. With less than 2 years of service, currently at 4, requesting increase to $6,000. With less than 3 years of service, it's currently 2, requesting increasing that amount to $4,000.
I'll make a motion we approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Meals are currently at $1.99 for last month. Number 1 charge last month was OWI, followed by petition to revoke and battery. We traveled a total of 15,413 patrol miles last month. Highest population jail was 69, low was 52. I think that summertime affects the population of the jail a lot. We served a total of 117 court papers. That's all I've got for today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sheriff. Questions? Our highway superintendent is not here today. He's out on a job. Maintenance director is not here. He is busy as well. So, Rick, we will write to you. Good morning.
Good morning. Just to bring you up to date, of course, last week I was on vacation, so not a whole lot went on between the last meeting, but we've had no further movement on FEMA. Haven't heard anything at all from them. We did get some information yesterday from Lone Star. They are the contractor for the state that's building the regional fire training center, and they weren't direct with their language, but they led you to believe that we may have a delay in getting the containers to actually get started. They're slated to start July 28th, but again, they haven't said it's a delay, but they're giving us enough information. That's what it appears. We've contacted the state fire marshal's office to make them aware of this as well. So until we actually get them on site, we won't know that date. That's all I have.
Questions?
Thank you.
Heather?
Have a good day. No, thank you.
It's her birthday today.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Bring us all a gift.
I should have.
Shelley?
I don't believe we have anything. Well, we finished settlements, so settlements went out. That's taken care of, and we're getting ready for the tax sale, which is September 11th. Thank you.
Moving right along. Amy, what did you get today?
Well, just a couple of things. First, I'll give you the report for the community center.
Thank you.
Everything looks pretty decent there. And then the only other thing that I had was that we would like to request permission to use the county council meeting room to do our option check signing on Monday. It should be the 14th, and they usually meet here and go over all the amounts and make sure everything looks good, and then we sign checks to be handed out to the kids for the bridge auction.
That's me.
We can do that.
All right.
Good. I'll make a motion.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And then Lynn, I would like to ask, does that need to be recorded if it is in that room?
In which room?
The
Council.
council room?
Yes, okay, it does, if it's a formal meeting.
Okay. Alright, thank you.
Which we do need to address the live streaming. I think now may be a good time to do that.
Okay.
So effective July 1st, any formal meeting of the governing body, that conducts the governing body's regular meetings in the same meeting room as the commissioners or council must be live streamed except for executive sessions. We need to figure out who is going to be designated for those meetings to start and stop the live streaming, as Sandy will not be present for some of those meetings. And I think the iPad that starts each of those meetings is county property. So I'm not certain as to how commissioners wish to proceed with respect to governing bodies such as the Alcohol Tobacco Commission that is in there, tourism,
Is the requirement dictated by the location rather
Yes.
than the board itself?
yes.
It seems to me like some folks might want
Yeah.
to go somewhere off-site.
And that would be up to them, but the ones that do meet in there need to figure out how they're going to live stream the meetings, because they have to be live streamed.
And that may be the case for us too.
Yeah.
I'll talk to the auction committee. We may go walk the way or something. So.
We basically need a general rule that anybody that's responsible for the meeting, or the chairman of the meeting, or whomever, will be responsible for if they use it on county property.
Okay, so they could designate an appropriate governing body member to be responsible for live streaming each of those governing bodies that meets there.
I think it'll pretty well take care of itself.
But you would be okay with them having the start and stop device?
I mean, I would be okay
Okay.
with it. I mean, I think tourists, I wouldn't want to see all those
It's a mini iPad.
have to try to go buy
Yeah,
their
but-
own equipment.
But do we think that maybe they could use an app? I think that's something, because I was
I don't
telling her, it's in my drawer in my office, but then I don't know what, is that then my responsibility to make sure they get it and bring it back to me?
That'd be pretty cumbersome.
Yes, and I don't know if there's an app. I'm not really tech savvy in that respect.
Somebody asked Joe.
Yes, that'd be good.
So I mean, alcohol, tobacco, tourism, who else meets? The fire board doesn't meet there anymore, right?
Fire board does not meet there, and the health board has moved over.
Yeah,
So I'm guessing the others will probably move their meetings.
I know ATC has one on July 23rd that has public hearings too. Excuse me, hearings on licenses. So I don't think that one will be moved. So that'll be one that'll
Have to
be
be.
live streamed. Yes,
I mean, as long as it's during the day, it shouldn't be a problem,
and
right?
that's the same day you guys have a meeting. It's at 11, so that shouldn't be too difficult to live stream that ATC meeting and hearings that day.
I think Purdue
Who has
Extension's.
who else meets in that room other than ATC? You sent me some. Tourism.
Tourism, alcohol, extension meets in there sometimes.
Yeah, the 4-H council does, yeah.
Health First meets in there, but I think we'll probably be able to move that one. I think we're supposed to meet next Tuesday, but I have some time to.
Peterborough, that's the other one, and I think those are supposed to be confidential also, so
Okay.
she may want to come up with something else too.
I guess we need to contact all these people, all these different boards, and see what their wishes are. If they want to use the property itself, then we'll make the arrangements we need to make to.
Yeah, and then there's our IT guys, you can ask them what other options.
Just
they
keeps
have.
getting bigger.
Is there an app for these individuals to use if they do utilize the council or commissioners room for their meetings to start them? Okay. Perfect.
So they wouldn't have to have the iPad.
That's our answer.
And it's okay if they can contact you to show them how to get it started.
What's the app called?
It's the Mevo app. It's, does that work on like both games?
I'll have them contact Jill.
Yeah, it's the Mevo multicam app.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
I think that was it.
Well, then why I have you here, Dan, I'd reached out to you while you were on vacation, then you got back with me, but we've had a lot of the township trustees reach out to us and said in other counties, they're piggybacking off the counties like Zoom or YouTube, because they have to have meetings. They may only meet once a year in the trustees' living room, so they don't really want to have, I don't know how many township trustees we have, but all individual having. So is that something that we could have them piggyback off the counties, so there's a one place to go to access all these meetings?
So it would still show up under the Orange County YouTube page. Is that okay? That those
I mean,
trustees
I don't,
show up?
I
It
don't,
would be separate from the county, so that would be
Okay.
up to county.
Okay.
I mean, do you see a problem with it if we have trustees meetings under our YouTube, or, I mean, do you think they all need to have their own?
I mean, as long as it was live streamed, I don't think it would matter if they're not part of the county government. So-
Because they're struggling to get, obviously, the technology and,
Yeah.
you know, all the things that they need to meet the law, so.
Is there a way that you could title them differently or no, underneath the county government page?
I don't think so because
Okay.
that's YouTube's very restrictive on
Mhm.
like naming conventions,
Mhm.
subscriber count, all those things to keep things protected. So
Mhm.
there's a lot of kind of policies there that prevent us from like changing the name of,
Mhm.
you know, we could post a video and then label it as something else. But I don't know, you know, how that ties into
Yeah.
the requirements for.
Because they said something about a Zoom, like, but I know nothing about it, that there's a multi-layer kind of Zoom, but
My concern would be it's not the county's responsibility to live stream those, so if something goes wrong and it's under the county's umbrella, I have concerns with that.
Who does their IT for the township?
well, I mean, every little township has nothing. I mean, some of them have $2,000 to spend a year, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So, I mean,
Okay.
it's not, I mean, we're
Okay.
talking, I mean, Stanford Creek, Northwest,
10 townships.
yeah, there you go. So,
And they're under the purview of the county?
I mean, not technically, they're their own form of government, technically.
Okay.
Kind of a sub-level, I guess you call it, lack of a better term.
Yeah. So that might be a separate component.
I mean, they technically have to, you know, and they literally, some of them meet in the living room with their board, so.
And they are required also by
That's what
IC
they're
code to
I'll
stream.
look at it, I haven't looked at the township trustees.
Okay.
So I can look and see.
Okay.
I think John Noblet reached out to
Yeah.
Senator Cook and his interpretation of
Yeah.
law that we would have to.
Yeah, I haven't looked at that specific question yet,
Okay.
but I can.
So something, they're just asking for help and, you know, so I think if we can try to help them.
They're going to be, they'll be interesting because they, you know, if we did a separate page for them, we would have to do separate subscriber counts and there would be a different, there would be a bit of a process there to add their own YouTube.
Something we may look into, and if, I mean, we can try to help them. I'm sure we're not the only, there's 92 counties. I'm sure we're not the only county struggling with the trustee's office. So.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll follow up with you.
Yeah, sounds great.
Thank you.
All right, we've got options. So, all right. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Randy Terrell.
Good morning. So wanted to officially announce the 2025 Orange County Commissioners Substance Prevention Funding Award amounts. Youth First will receive $6,000. Southern Indiana Community Healthcare will receive $9,500. The Orange County Food Trust will receive $6,000. The Gateway Ministry will receive $9,500. The Orange County Tobacco Prevention and Cessation will receive $8,000. Safe Haven Recovery and Engagement will receive 8,000, and Teen Peace will receive 9,500. And the check signing, or the check presentation is today after this meeting at 10 o'clock. So stick around, please. The other thing is just that we were able to submit the letter of intent for the commissioners with the additional funding through DMHA. I was the contact on that. I have not received anything. Sandy, I don't know if you've received anything. My understanding is it is supposed to be retro to July 1, so I assume we'll be getting some information or to go on to the application or not at some point pretty soon. We did have an estimated at $85,327.42 that we were going to be able to use as match. That's an approximate because you may get additional funding, and we were not sure what the match timeline was, which monies you could allocate to that match. So, worst cases, I think it's going to be potentially $85,000 more dollars. The max would be $150 because we chose the prevention pillar, which was a limit. That is all that I have to report.
Can we vote on it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all, yes, everything
You
is
know by
good.
amount or not?
Well, you approved based on what we think the DMHA application's going to be. So if we get invited to submit a full application, then we'll come back and there'll be more details. And so some of that may change, which then we will have a voting approval at that time. But we are good to go with the information we have right now.
All right. Questions, anybody?
Nothing.
All right.
Good stuff.
Anything else, Randy?
No.
Okay. Thank you for the hard work on this project as well, as usual. We appreciate it. A lot of non-speakers here today. You sure you don't want to speak, Justin?
I'm just following up on last meeting, make sure you guys your feet are held to the fire.
I've never seen you and Paco without words. All right, to speak to that, though, I think, I get some information that we want to try to keep it, rather than make a formal committee, make it an informal type situation. Otherwise, we're going to be having to do these meetings
Live stream.
live streaming.
Yeah, I think you can work directly with Carl and Rick, Justin, and then any plans would be submitted to commissioners for approval. That's what commissioners are wanting to do. Is that correct?
I'll be in your committee as well, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll all
That works.
keep current on the game plan.
Yes, Arla Frazier will represent the town of Paola, and I haven't heard back from Robert. Walmart expressed interest, they want to have somebody on board as well. I'd like to get a liner, I'd like to get JSI, get some private industry also involved.
That's a good idea.
Do you want us to lean on Rick to kind of head the group informally and create committee as appropriate?
Absolutely. I hate to see him with free time on his hands.
I'll second that motion.
Thanks.
Robin Brown, you're up today.
All right. In September, the state CASA conference will be here in French Lick. There's 3 days of directors, and then there's a day of volunteers. They're expecting probably between 800 and 1,000 on Saturday to attend because it's all over the state. Being on the host committee, since it's in our county, the CASA conference is a little different. It's not like a day you go from 8 to 4 and you're done. There's evening events, and then we have to prepare and set up for the next day. The state has put in the grant for me to be able to stay at the hotel. But Sandy said because there's an ordinance, I need to ask permission to be able to stay even if the county isn't paying.
Oh, to accept a grant?
Well, yeah, just to accept that I can stay at the hotel.
Since it's within the 50 miles.
Need to waive our policy. Makes it.
Motion made.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, and then also, like a lot of the other offices, we needed upgrades in our computer because our trainings are going to a lot of AI, which I haven't really embraced yet, but I'm trying hard to do that. But graciously, through a grant from the Community Foundation, we were able to get all the computers we need for our office, so there won't be any expense or any need for that. So that's all done, and we're gonna hope this works.
Thanks for pursuing.
Thank you.
For
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. I'll be careful with that AI. I just read an article talking about AI that said that it was a test. They tested the AI and they're going to shut it down. Inputted that information, they're going to shut it down. But the AI on its own pulled stuff out of the records and was going to blackmail the people that were going to shut it down.
Yeah. I have real concerns, you know, like they're wanting us to use it to finesse reports and do those type of things, but everything through our office is a confidential. And I feel like even though they say it's safe, if it goes out somewhere, it's not safe. And so it's, you know, we'll try to balance how we feel we need to go, but the training will be done by an AI person. So.
Wow, that's kind of scary stuff.
It is. It is.
All right, is that all you have?
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bonnie?
Yeah, so our office, the health department, is running at a reduced level. Our health nurse is out. Just want to let everybody know we're going to be ready to go back into the childhood immunizations for schools. She sent a letter out to all the providers in the county, giving a list of surrounding county health departments. They operate much the same as our county does. Making appointments with one of them might be your best option if you can't get it through your primary care provider. The preparedness cycle is getting ready to start, or has started July 1st. Indiana has eliminated the regional representative for this program, and we'll be doing these deliverables with much less help than we have in years past. Be working with Rick just to kind of, since it's my first year and don't have the support that they once had. Septic system installation has begun. The ground conditions are suitable for the soil absorption fields. I want to remind the public that direct discharge of sewage is a health hazard. Replacement must be sized and permitted by the local health department. And then finally, I'd like to make a request. We have a person that works in a local doctor's office that could help us with some of the vaccine sendbacks and some of the documentation as far as the nursing side of things, not giving shots, but actually, sending expired vaccines back, creating the logs that we need, printing off records and things like that. This person would be available 1 day a week. We would pay the normal part-time rate for this, and we do have budgeted amount in place left over from some lapses that we've had in the health department. Just ask your permission to go ahead and hire that person that is already. We do have any budgeting issues there. We're about 10,000 up in our part-time line item for the year.
Motion?
For how long?
Until our health nurse returns. It would be temporary, and the person is probably aware that it's a temporary, 1 day a week, probably be on Friday.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
That's all I have. Any questions for the health department?
Thank you, sir. That finishes up the audience portion. Counselor, what do you have today?
I just have one item for your consideration. Matt Cooper did create the legal description for the street located in the Allscotts addition in the town of French Lick. The adjoining landowners are Nicholas Burton, Mary Lynn Owens, and Jerry Weiniger. I believe Mr. Weiniger came to the last meeting requesting that the county vacate that undeveloped county street. One or all of the adjoining property owners can file a formal petition with commissioners to close or vacate the street. Once that petition is filed, commissioners will set it for a hearing. Notice is published in the newspaper and delivered to the adjoining landowners. Hearing is held, and then the commissioners can vacate by ordinance, which is recorded. You can start the process, but typically the petitioners will sign the petition, and you guys either pay for the county attorney to do that or request that the petitioners pay the costs of that. But our office can prepare that, so I need to know how you wish to proceed.
That's your district, Mr. Noble, what's your pleasure?
The gentleman was here the last, and I'd like to proceed. How do we typically handle it? Do we take those costs, or do we usually in the past have the owner do it?
I think the last one I did for the county paid those costs for the county attorney to do it, but I'm not certain as to the prior.
I'm good with that if you guys. Okay, I'll make a motion that we proceed.
Oh, sorry. I have a motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
That's all I have today. Thank you.
And the Weiniger, he was at our last meeting, Lynn, and from what I understand, I think he's gonna buy all the property
Okay.
that's Nick Burton currently owns.
Okay, all right. Do you have his contact information you can
I
send to me?
don't, he didn't, he was actually gonna come to the meeting today.
Okay.
So,
If he happens to contact you, will you
Sure,
put him in contact with
absolutely.
me?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Madam Auditor, what did you get today?
I'm gonna let.
Okay, yeah, sorry, I didn't know if you guys had specific questions for me, but, I do have some information that I would like to share, in regards to the county contract. It's not gonna affect the stipend or anything like that, but we're planning on implementing a third unit, to help supplement with the transfers. And also we're working with outside service partners such as Star and Seals to do what we can't do. So the overall goal is to ensure that we have two units in the county at all times. A bonus for Orange County is that I also manage Lawrence County, and we're doing the same thing there. So that extra unit, I would like to instill policy that we contact Lawrence County for first contact for mutual aid, because that truck will be stationed in Mitchell, so they can be in the county within minutes. Versus, I've studied this for the last 12 months, and I've realized that Washington County, Crawford, Du Bois do not come to the county line when we call for mutual aid, so that increases response when we have to utilize them. So the ability to be able to get a unit from Lawrence County quickly will ensure that we're trying to maintain the 2 units at all times. It's been a goal of mine since I became a manager, and now I believe that we have the upper leadership to support that. So I just want to present that, and I would like to schedule a meeting at some point to kind of give you the details of what we plan to do. That way you understand the operation.
That would be great. As you know, that's been a point of contention for some time.
Yeah, and I've worked in this county for the last, going on 12 years. And I have a love for this county as well. I moved all the way from Louisville to work here. It's been my goal to ensure that we're providing a good standard of care for the community.
One of the things I think we want to do, Trish, is transparency.
Oh, yeah.
And I think we're going to try to start reporting in our meetings.
Okay.
Ambulance, how many 911 runs we had, response times, all these different things that people ask us about it, and that information's never quite together. So
Okay, I can do that.
yeah, and I think sometimes your folks don't sign off when they reach a scene.
Yeah,
Or
sometimes.
they don't advise dispatch, and that's,
Yeah.
of course, that's one way we can track this.
Yeah, I'm dealing with that too. Right now, we've identified there's some radio issues on the French lift truck that we're addressing right now. So that's usually what happens. I don't think that the team members are intentionally not contacting. Usually there's an issue of some sort. And then my overall goal too, because recently we've had some team members from Bloomington having to come down and backfill some of our open positions. So now we're also implementing a schedule change. Because the problem was we had a transfer truck. It is staffed at the first part of the week, but we can't get staffed for the second part of the week because people just don't want to do that.
Right.
So our overall goal is just to combine it all together. That way, if we do have to send a truck out and transfer, that truck automatically goes into the 911 notation. So that way we ensure coverage.
All right, we appreciate that. We appreciate your hard work on this because it's, obviously it's important to everybody in this county.
Yeah.
Well, I think transparency again is important. I know Springs Valley Fire Department, they actually, on their quarterly report, one of the things they share is how many times we didn't have an ambulance available. So that obviously is a negative thing that is, taken in their public meetings. So I think we need to share some numbers as well, because we have a lot of good things going as well, so.
Yeah, and during COVID, we really struggled. Actually, it was after COVID. We lost a lot of team members after COVID, and that's when we really struggled. So it took about 2 years to get us back up staff. And we did that by creating our own EMT program, paramedic program, so that we actually paid people to go through our EMT class and then employed them after. So that was very successful. And I think right now here in Orange, we only have 2 positions that need to be filled. And I think this schedule change is going to help that, because currently anybody who goes in those positions has to work every Saturday, and people just don't like to do that, especially younger generations. So we're moving to a 24-hour shift model. It will require less team members to fill those shifts, so we can actually fill the trucks with what we have currently.
Okay, so you got a good plan, and people could help with this as well. I mean, how many times do you get called in a situation for lifting assistance?
Oh, yeah.
Well, we've got 2 trucks, and
Yes.
if we've got a life-threatening situation over here and somebody needs to be picked up, it's really a bad use of our resources, but we don't have an option.
Right.
So if people would be more aware of that as well, and try to find other ways to get the help they need, rather than call out one of our 911 trucks.
Yeah, and Rick knows and Garland knows I'm a very transparent person. If you guys ever have any questions or concerns, I want you to feel like you're empowered to do that, because you guys are paying us to be here, and I completely respect any, even if it's negative feedback, because I can't fix things if
We
I don't
learn from
know.
negative
Yeah,
feedback.
yeah. So just anything that you guys might have that's a concern, feel free to reach out anytime, and I'll take care of it.
Well, Dave, you can justify this as well. An actual 7-minute response time, the time it gets where to people's ears, it's 20 minutes or 25
Oh, yeah,
minutes or
yeah.
whatever. Everything gets embellished because.
Well, anytime emergency
nature of it.
happens, it feels like an eternity, especially to the people that are there.
Right.
Yeah.
We sure appreciate everything you're doing to try to resolve this. We really do. We appreciate the service.
Thank you.
Okay, Madam Auditor.
All I have is the reading contract that's been revised. Y'all voted on it the last meeting, and it's got the Senate Bill 1 taken out, and just approval for me to work on the budget with them. And I gave y'all homework on your budgets, by the way. Did you see that? Okay.
Okay, now the approved number is the 762165, is that correct?
Yep, that's
These are basically informational things. If we were to want to do this, what it would cost us.
That's what I got left out of the 15,000 that you said I could use last year.
You mentioned that, and I think we've already authorized that to be utilized this year, right?
And you voted on it the last meeting with the revisions.
You emailed this to us, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I make a motion that we authorize Richard to sign.
I will second that motion.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
And I don't think our veterans officer didn't come, but do you want to give his new hours?
Share that?
Sure. Absolutely. I don't know what it is.
His new hours, we do have the new veterans officer, Ron Parsons. His new hours would be Wednesday, 8 to 6, right? And Thursday, 8 to 6. So he'll be working a little over in case there's people that can't get here.
Two 10-hour days.
Yeah.
We want to have evening hours for some of our veterans at work, which is a great deal.
Yeah. That's all I got.
Background, I think he's like a 20-year Navy guy, I believe, is where what his background is, so.
Be a great asset.
When we interviewed him, he was very caring, very responsive, and seemed to be very knowledgeable about veterans' benefits and stuff, so.
Well, you don't do the job for the money, so.
No, you're not gonna get rich doing that, are you? Okay, you have anything else, Andy?
No, sir.
All right. Mr. Hopper, you have anything?
I have nothing.
Mr. Noble?
Only thing I have, just invite the public. French Lick is having their dedication on Friday at 11 o'clock for their new Veterans and Emergency Services Memorial in French Lick. So It'll be, I think the weather may not look great, but it'll be a nice event and invite everyone out. I think we're gonna have Senator Cook there and some other folks. So it'd be a nice event if anyone has time to come. That's all I have.
Okay, I really don't have anything today. Having said that, unless somebody else has something they want to speak about, we will, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Motion is second, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thanks everybody for coming today.
Don't
Appreciate
turn
it.
off, and we're early, so you're gonna have to stick around. There may be
The
some
grandkids.
folks who won't be here until 10, so. That's right.
Check's in the mail, folks.
Yes, that's
I think you're gonna be saying
Commissioners.
I appreciate the ambulance services and everybody involved.
Yeah, it's just, I'll reach out to the attorney now. I'll reach out to the attorney.
Are not approving the budget until they're approved by the
We had that since 2 months ago now.
Good to see you.
How are you?
I mean, I don't understand what we really do. Like,
I gotta go tomorrow and get a picture of the big check or they'll give me a little one. What time is that tomorrow? I don't know, I asked Brandon. You know what I pay? Anytime. I do. Earlier probably. I mean, I've been.
Hello, Marshall Noble. Nice to meet you. I think we've seen each other before.
It's a tough time. I know where the churches are as well.
I'm glad you moved up from Little Place.